they had worshipped a mighty deity known as Kokomo, a god feared for its power to bring both prosperity and destruction. The villagers believed that Kokomo resided deep within the forest, where ancient trees whispered secrets to the wind, and the sound of drums echoed through the night. The villagers would offer sacrifices to Kokomo, hoping to appease its wrath and gain its favor. They believed that without Kokomo's blessings, their crops would wither, their livestock would fall ill, and their families would suffer. The fear of Kokomo was palpable, and the villagers lived in a constant state of reverence and dread. One day, a young pastor named John arrived in the village. He was driven by a fierce determination to spread the word of his God and bring the villagers out of what he saw as darkness. Pastor John was convinced that the villagers' worship of Kokomo was misguided and that their fear was unfounded. He believed that his God was the one true God, and that he alone had the power to save the villagers from the clutches of the evil deity. Pastor John began to preach to the villagers, telling them of the love and forgiveness of his God. He spoke of the miracles and wonders that his God had performed, and of the salvation that awaited those who believed. At first, the villagers were skeptical, but as Pastor John continued to preach, they began to feel a sense of hope and curiosity. As the villagers listened to Pastor John's words, they started to question their beliefs about Kokomo. They began to wonder if their fear and reverence were misplaced. Some started to attend Pastor John's church, drawn by his conviction and the sense of community that it offered. But Kokomo, sensing the shift in the villagers' loyalty, grew angry. The villagers noticed changes in the forest, the trees began to wither, and the rivers ran dry. The villagers were terrified, believing that Kokomo's wrath was upon them. Pastor John, undeterred, saw this as an opportunity to demonstrate the power of his God. He organized a prayer meeting, calling upon the villagers to renounce Kokomo and turn to his God. The villagers, desperate for relief, joined him in prayer, and as they did, a strange and wonderful thing happened. The skies opened, and a gentle rain began to fall, nourishing the parched earth and reviving the withered crops. The villagers saw this as a sign of God's